Welcome, everyone. I'm Lynsey Jeffries. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm so proud to be the Higher Achievement CEO. I'm here to update you on the last year and to share what is ahead. So let me tell you about last year. Last year, we got to return to welcome our scholars back to higher achievement in person after 18 months of virtual. We got to welcome them back safely into hugs and high fives, back to mentors and academic support, and back into our culture of love and learning. I got to serve as a volunteer tutor this year at Ward 4 every week in DC, and it was both grounding and uplifting to be with my scholars, Bradley, Veronica, Jacob, Lejanique, and Samuel. Well, this past school year was a return. It was not a return to normal. Far from it. Normal wasn't working for our scholars, and we did our best to set up a new, better normal for them. Yet, the challenges were significant. Quarantines continued to disrupt our work like many others. In fact, nationwide, 17% of learning time was disrupted by quarantines last year. Given the data on learning loss, we implemented literacy tutoring this year, but implementation was challenging as well. Those challenges included recruiting enough mentors in this labor market while managing full-time staff turnover, the need for more training, all while grappling with our scholars' needs for deeper social emotional supports and joy in learning. Scholar recruitment was challenging over the past couple of years due to COVID precautions, which led to a decline in our scholar rosters. And lastly, background check backlogs in DC led to up to 12-week delays before staff and volunteers were permitted to be in person in schools. McKinsey has described the COVID educational recovery as K-shaped. Picture the letter K. The upper vector of the K being high income, mostly white students who got the extra mental health and academic supports that they needed and have now fully recovered largely from the struggles of virtual learning. That lower vector of the K is lower income students, mostly students of color, who did not get enough of the supports that everyone has needed. Demographically, our scholars match that lower vector, but academically, they are either at or above pre-COVID levels as measured by their math and reading grades. I'm really proud of our scholars' resilience and their success. We also want to celebrate our expansion. Last year, we opened a new center in Baltimore at Highlandtown 237. We are so proud to partner with their growing immigrant community and offer our program entirely in Spanish for the first time ever. Shout out to our founding learning director and learning coordinator, Milan and Bentley, and Highlandtown's principal, Denise Ashley. I'm also so proud of how we've advanced our diversity, equity, and inclusion work with our DEI Council and our first ever DEI Director, Dr. Tony Woodland. We're putting our commitments from 2020 into concrete action with staff and board practices, fundraising and communication strategies, volunteer training, and more. All of this success is due to the dedication of our community, all of you and many more. First, our amazing staff, both full and part-time, our volunteers, our board members, our donors, school partners, families, and most importantly, our scholars. As we reflect back on the year behind us, we also look eagerly to the year ahead of us. In 22-23, we will continue to implement our COVID recovery model. Our focus, as always, is to prepare our scholars both academically and socially for high school. Our mentors are key parts in this mission. Learning from last year, we are ready for greatness. Staff engagement survey results are up, and we're in the middle of 8 weeks of supportive training and planning. We also look forward to infusing more joy into our programming as COVID restrictions relax, with more field trips, electives in arts, activism, and sports, with career exposure, hands-on activities. And in fact, later this month, scholars are going on college trips to Hopkins, Howard, American, James Madison, and GW. We've already heard interest from more than 300 potential scholars who want to join us next year, and we can't wait to open our doors to them and many more.